Hey and welcome you all to one another tutorial on Alteryx, and in this project we will be working on something related to reporting, that is in our daily lives when we are working with the tool. So when we are in the work, we have to report it to someone what we are getting, the results, outcome, or anything that you are getting out of the data. So like suppose this is a small workaround that I have done, or workflow which I have created, and if you see the output of this one, then you will surely get what I'm getting. So this is the output, like you will get the company image here, and then total number of entries, what is the test is all about, and what are the exceptions, that the insights that you got out from the data itself. So how we will be making this? So let's do it. So suppose this is the workflow and I will be creating it from the scratch. So first of all, let's take like input data for this, and this is what the input data we got. And after that, this is the data set, that is a demo data set which already comes in the Alteryx. So now the step comes is data preparation, or anything you want to do, any logic on the data, or anything you want to set on the data, that you can do here, right? So for this, like, to keep it very simple, I'm just taking the company to DE, and anything you want to take, which I already saw that we want to have a filter on the countries. So this is simple enough, and if you have anything big or something like that, you can add it in this phase of the data preparation. And after that, we will come to reporting of the data. So for the reporting of the data, how we have done it, like we want two data basically out of it. First is the count of the total number of entries, and the count of the uh, exceptions out of the data. So in this one, we will be taking the count of the exception first, and this will give us the exceptions count, and we will also be taking the count of the total number of entries, so that we can take from the original data itself. So we will be taking here the count of the user ID, and here we will be taking the count of the country, or any, you can take any field. So that will give us the count. Pretty good. Now we are having the two data with us. Now we will be taking the help of reporting tools that are present here, and we will be like creating something sensible enough to present for the for the final report that will be creating. So this is render tool that sorry, not the render tool, we will be using here the report text tool. So this will help us to basically create something reasonable out of it. So this is the total count of the number of the fields we have. So first of all, I will add a title here, like sales in Denmark. That is what we are seeking in this test particularly, and these are the total number of entries. Okay, good. Now we can use some editing here so that it looks good enough. And similarly here also we will add a report text tool for this thing to work, right? So here what we will do, total number of exceptions. Suppose we are doing some exceptions here, exceptions, and total number of D entries. We can write like this: D entries. Pretty good. And then we will add the count for that, and it's good that we just do the bold of it. Now we have both the data. Now we have data like in the form of fields in this report text, and another in another report text. Now what we have to do, we have to combine or join the data so that we could now process it further. So we will join the data, and we will do it with the record join by record position. So it will give us two fields with these two, like for example count here and text, and then the right count. Pretty good. Now what we have to do, we have to top this data one upon the another, and for that we will be using the basic layout tool. So in this we have to do two things. First is the orientation, like how we want the data to be visible to us, like in vertical or horizontal, next to each other. So we want it vertical on top of each other, and that's why we will do this. And for something make it easier, let's name its title, and for this make it as an exception, so we will get some good outcome. So now we have title here and we have an exception here, and we want title on top, and then we want the total number of exceptions to be shown. So this will give us a report in this form. Good. So if we want to see the report, we can see it with the browse tool, but now right now we will not see it. And this is how we have connected everything. And now we have done till here. Now if we want to add some image to it, or any logo of company or anything, so we can add it very easily. So for that we need to have an image tool, and then we will go to static image, and then we will add the images. So this is the static image added, and for again what we are doing, we are having the fields data in the fields, and we have to join one more field to it. So we again do the join. So this will do the join to this image, and we can just join it, right? I'm just making it simpler. You can also reduce some tools in this and make it more simpler, but for understanding how this is working, so I'm just doing this. So now the fields are one after the another, and we have an image here also. So now we are coming to the again the orientation or the layout part of it, and we want this time we want it to be horizontal, like image and then data. So the layout we have already set as vertical for the data or the text, and now we have an horizontal layout for image and for the complete data itself. So for that we have an horizontal, and image is set the first one and then the layout. So this is good enough. Now we have a layout that we really wanted, so now this layout is final. Now what we want a table to be also present in the output, and for that we will be adding a table tool here, which will pull out all the data that is out of the loading and everything that we have used out of the logic and everything. So now that basic tool is out, and now what we will do is we will be joining it with another tool. So because another, this will be another field or something, you can also use join here, because we are just joining one field out of it, and then what we are doing, we are using it as an horizontal vertical layout out of it. So the layout here is vertical, and we will join it with this. And now coming to this, now because the table has to be has to be just below the whole layout, right? We want something like this, like complete layout, all the entries and everything, and the picture and everything, and after that our table should be present, right? This is a good format. So now coming to that, we will go and we want it not to be horizontal but to be a vertical, and with the vertical we want it layout table, and then we want our table to be presented. Okay, now that is the final layout that is formed. If you want to give it as a uh, summary or PDF or Excel file, then you have to use a render tool, and the render tool. And for render tool we have an option here, like we want a temporary PDF and layout and everything. That's good. Header and footer we are not finding giving any input here, and this will give us the output. So let's run it and let's see what we got. So this is the final layout that we will be seeking here, and yes, the sales in Denmark and the total of entries and total number of D, and this is how we can get the data out of what we have prepared, and we can present it to our the management. So that was for this video, and if you want anything more on Alteryx, you want me to create anything that you are going through and you want it to be for that you want a video or something like that, please comment. And if you have liked this video, you can also subscribe to my channel, and just stay tuned. Like I will be updating more videos on Alteryx, Power BI, and many other data science tools that we are using in our company, in my company, what they are using and what I am using personally. So I will be updating it from time to time. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.